So we're gonna start. My name is Lydia.
Who is what? Who is Piriko?
What is Piriko? Where does the name come from?
So yeah, where does the name come from?
You don't want to...
Oh,
I asked the question.
you asked me the question.
Let's do this.
Go for it.
My name is Lydia.
My name's Leander.
We're co-founders at Piriko.
And siblings.
And this is our story. The starting point of Piriko really was us co-founders being new students in a new city, Montreal at the time, navigating an unfamiliar campus that was, filled with lots of activities, lots of information, lots of events, and it was hard to figure out what to do when. And the more we spoke to other students and the more we reflected on our own experiences, the more we realized that a lot of students were facing the same challenges.
Yeah, I remember arriving at Concordia in the dead of winter. I didn't know anybody, and I would go from class to class, sitting somewhere different each time. And I would save students' numbers based on the course I met them in. And even 5 years later, I still have some of my friends' numbers saved as, or names saved as the course number I met them in. And yeah, afterwards I would organize group study sessions by group messaging all the students I met in those classes. Or I would just walk through the library and overhear conversations. And if I heard like thermo something, I would just sit down and try to join them. So it was a very inefficient process. And with Piriko, we wanted to make that a lot more efficient, enable students to start studying together from the very get-go.
So the idea behind Piriko is very simple. We want to build a platform that's student-driven and a community platform where students can find all their activities. And that means that we're building a tool where students can easily find out who's in their class and connect with them, communicate with them, and then also organize virtual activities or in-person activities. And over time, enable them to build stronger relationships throughout their programs.
So in a way, you can see Piriko as a digital extension to campus. We realize that students really struggle when they first arrive on campus, making friends, kind of knowing who else is taking their same courses and who's in the same program. So that's one of the big challenges that we think Piriko could really help with. But then there's also the element of exclusion that comes from platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, which are the primary platforms used by students right now. Piriko is unique in the sense that it's specifically designed for the student experience, and you don't necessarily need to know each other from the onset, because the other platforms are really about who do you already know, and then they enable you to communicate with those same people. But then there's also another element to it, which is we realize that universities provide a lot of resources for students already. But there's still a huge value in getting resources and guidance from your peers. It's kind of the same way you could think of your parents providing you guidance versus your friends, right? And that's something that we're trying to leverage. So like that community support that you get through a platform like Piriko.
There's a lot of research out there that supports what we're doing with Piriko, and one of the research studies shows that a student's ability to make a close friend within the first few weeks of their program has a significant impact on their academic success and program retention. And then the other element that's pretty exciting is that peer learning in itself as a pedagogical approach to learning is really effective. And by making it easier for students to connect, we can harness that learning method.
So Piriko is available as a mobile app on Android and iOS. It's also being currently developed for the browser, so any kind of PC browser. And as a student, you can log in using your university credentials. Next, you pick the courses that you're taking. You'll be able to see all the different students taking those same courses and all the different groups and activities that were created in those classes. For in-person activities, you can browse your your campus map and partake in any of those activities. And any user can also create their own activities and groups for any other peers to join, and they can also invite their classmates. Piriko was a bird that we had as a little kid. It was our first pet. It was a little blue parakeet, and we just like the analogy of this jungle, this rich hive of activity that is a jungle, and how a campus kind of compares to that. Where every bird is singing their song and joining in each other's songs.
At the moment, we're really focused on building the MVP of the platform, so really focusing on the peer-to-peer learning features. But our vision is big and goes well beyond that.
Yeah, we really believe that students should be recognized for their involvement in their community. And that's something that really excites us with Piriko, because we kind of see it as a way to recognize and reward students for the way that they involve themselves in their community. So over time, as you engage yourself with these extracurricular activities, you build this sort of organic CV that will develop throughout your studies, and you can leverage that then to find an internship or find a job afterwards.
In other words, Piriko is really trying to allow you to tap into your campus as a student right now, but also prepare you for what happens after your university degree.